So his net worth is under $4 million. You have somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene who goes into Congress, and she comes out with her net worth of $25 million.
Yeah, explain that one.
Thank you. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think need to be explained before someone's passing.
Right.
And that is definitely one of them. Because I've always thought that Lindsey was maybe a war hawk and that he, was always pushing. Well, I see why now. But you know what? I agree. We need some of those people. I might be one of those people. But he tirelessly was working to try to end the Russia-Ukraine war. He's on Ukraine's side. Hell, I'm on Ukraine's side. There's a lot of corruption that happened with Joe Biden and Barack Obama. There's a lot of that happened between Ukraine and Russia. But I mean, just Ukraine in general and laundering a bunch of money. I don't need somebody to pull out the bank ledgers and show me that here's the actual black and white proof. There's been so much smoke around it. I don't even need to see the fire at the point, because you can't have smoke without fire. We know, I have a pretty good idea that I believe that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were laundering money through Ukraine. We already know that Joe Biden couldn't help himself and bragged about, you either fire the prosecutor or you don't get the $1 billion. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. But I also, okay, here's another thing that you can be. You can be for Ukraine, being protected from Russia and getting their independence, right? Without being necessarily on Zelensky's side either.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you say the Joe Biden part, but you also have Zelensky out here who is obviously all in it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with his citizens.
Well, I do think that there's some questionable behavior there.
Very much.
And they need to have some elections, and they need to have some. But hey, just like in Iran, that's their country. And if that's what they choose and that's what they want, then that's them. Let them be them.
Well, here's another part of it, though, too. I'm all for helping out. I'm not for draining our country of, millions and billions of dollars to help another country get on their feet.
Agreed.
And that's the part where
I'm not for nation building.
I definitely am not. And also, it was so forced upon you about, you should believe this and you should feel this way and you should be on this side and you should, why don't you want to help Ukraine? Why don't you want to do this? And just like I said, it's one thing to help and do that for a period of time, but when it was just constantly in every single bill to where our lawmakers almost acted like they were lawmakers for Ukraine and not America. It's like there's definite differences here. So,
yes, there is. And I don't want to do nation building. I don't need any more proof that Joe Biden money laundered a bunch of stuff. I don't need any more proof.
Because they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah,
so why do we need that?
Yeah, I don't need any more proof. What I'm worried about now is how it's going to go forward. Now, I do think there needs to be some things done about it. 100%. Passing the SAVE Act is a good way to do it. That's Save America Voting Elections, SAVE. So I do care, but I don't want a nation build. And right now, you've got Donald Trump kicking the absolute crap out of the coastline of Iran, and then also bombing some other areas in country. I've seen some video coming out of there. I watched some late last night of some video coming out of Iran where they're blowing up like ammunition storehouses that are deep in the hills and all that stuff. And there's one mountain that Trump put on Truth Social. I may go back and look, but the name of it doesn't really matter. It's a mountain that's got a facility that they've buried deep in it. And Trump on Truth Social said that he was going to literally obliterate the mountain. So I guess that means he's going to send those B-2 bombers over there, just right behind each other with a bunch of bunker busters and literally take out the mountain. Now, I know that's true possible. I also know that they can do that with B-52s. A friend of mine that I grew up with, retired colonel in the Air Force, flew B-52s out of Shreveport. And during the Iraq War, he literally told me about flying over land masses that were mountains, and their formation of B-52 bombers with the type of munitions that they have would fly over that. And
Mm-hmm.
he said when they would come back over to go back home, the mountain was now a plateau or it was flat,
Yeah.
because they can do that. They have the ability to drop enough weaponry on a mountain that it will collapse it and it would just be gone, because they were bombing the caves that were inside over there in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And Brett would tell me, he's like, you could see as we'd fly in, and he said we'd be at 40,000 feet, and they would drop bombs at 40,000 feet. He's like, you can't even hear me flying over, and then all of a sudden bombs start dropping on you, and the whole mountainside just lights up into a big pile of rubble, and it's just gone. It's like just dust. I mean, it just literally blows it into oblivion.
All right.
And Trump just said on True Social last night that he was going to turn that mountain, he was going to obliterate the mountain. So I guess that's what he's going to do, because that's where they're trying to move their nuclear material into this mountain. And they also hide a bunch of missiles and stuff in there. And so he said he was going to take it out. You're going to have to fly a whole bunch of Buffalo, big old gigantic old planes over there and drop a boat ton load of ammunition to do it. But that's, you know what that is? That's just conventional bombs. It'll do it.
Yeah.
when you drop 200 of them from a B-52 and you've got, I don't know, 20 B-52s over there, think about how many bombs that is. That's just insane. But it's going to happen. Yeah. What say you, Kim? Anything about that?
Um. I mean, I hope they get them. You know, just
It's okay. I just was asking, and I'll put you on point. But I mean, he was just saying that he was going to do that. So I'm saying all this to say that we talk about nation building. We're talking about like Ukraine and Iran. Here's the thing: JD Vance, no, Marco Rubio, son of immigrants, right? Born here, but son of immigrants. Marco Rubio said all of the problems in the Middle East are coming out of Iran. The theocrats, the mullahs, it's coming from there. And I don't disagree. I think the problems we've had out of the Middle East, if you look back and you see all the prosperity that the Middle East was undergoing before this Islamic theocratical mullah teaching took over, they were thriving, prosperous people. And then Iran comes into play, and it has literally ruined the entire region. It has. And this Muslim faith that's a sham and a lie, and it's not of God. I can tell you that right now. It's not. It's actually the opposite of. You know, it's a religion of slavery and of war. It is not a peace. It's certainly not a peace. I mean, you can clearly see that it's not. We'll get into that later because I got some more to talk about on that front.
mm,
We're going to get into that later. We're going to hold that back for just a little bit. But
well, I have to say, I want to bring up. So David Hall, you were mentioning Ukraine earlier, said, he said, if you remember that Russia had assurances after the wall fell that NATO would not encroach eastward, that was one of the reasons that Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons.
Yep.
And Russia said okay to Putin and said that if you continue to encroach eastward, then we're going to take that certain regions and we consider to be Russian regimes.
That's why Donald Trump said it would have never happened under his watch.
Yeah,
Because
of course.
Because that's exactly right.
And did you hear a peep from them during his first term?
No,
I didn't hear a peep.
no.
The second Biden got in there, that's all you heard about for 4 years.
Right.
And again, now except for them bickering, you really don't hear a peep out of them anymore.
No. And Russia, that's been nothing but a meat grinder for them. They have literally, for the last 4 years, they have literally ground their forces into Ukraine, and it's just been, death and destruction. And so many of Russians have been killed over there through that. But now, don't get complacent and think that Russia can't fight. History will teach you that you may get the better hand of them in the beginning, but a couple of things are going to work against you later. One is going to be weather. Good old nature is going to work against you when you try to go into Russia. You have to be prepared for that. Weather. Number two, there are a boatload ton of Russians, and it's honestly they're like Americans. They may fight amongst themselves.
Very proud of their country.
They're proud of their they may be the former USSR, but they're proud to be Russians. And I'm gonna tell you something: when you kick that anthill over, you better be ready, because right now Putin, I think, is still just toying around with Ukraine. He doesn't want an all-out war because he knows that he could kick off World War III if he did that. But don't get a false sense of security that he can't invade Ukraine with massive, overwhelming force and be done with it, because he can. Now, is it inferior equipment to ours? Yes. Are we the world's most powerful military? Yes. Do we need to have our eye on China? You bet. Hang tight. We just getting started.
Hey y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I'm Larry Nix, host of Defining Moments, and I'm thrilled to announce the launch of Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast, exclusively on IgniteMS.tv, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora with real stories, real people, and real purpose. So join us each week as we deep dive into the life-changing moments that shape who we are and where we're headed. From faith to family, challenges to triumph, every story has power. We are touching the lives of people with the spirit of hope for life. That's Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast. You can continue to listen to us on 104.3. Also follow us for updates, previews, and more news on our Facebook page at IgniteMS.tv.
go back into the
Frank.
and Kim.
Really,
Big, huge, gigantic,
gigantic,
massive
glamtastic,
Tuesday morning.
tigerific.
Huh?
I thought of another one.
You did.
Tigerific.
Welcome in. It is 7:23 for the most part. It's 7:23 on a Tuesday, July the 14th, and we were discussing about not having nation building in Ukraine and kind of how all that. Look, the world is a powder keg, right? But I want you to think. Kind of, we've talked about this before, but the world's a powder keg, Kim. It really is. I mean, there's so much going on around, and what are we not really hearing about? Who are we not hearing about right now? And let me maybe answer this a little bit better. Our largest adversary is who?
China.
Who are we not hearing about right now?
China.
All right, so North Korea, hot off the press. North Korea, do y'all remember back when they launched their first nuclear destroyer in North Korea and it sank? Do you remember this?
No.
All right, let me refresh your memory. I know it's been over a year, but North Korea, the little country over there that Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is runs, they built their first big battleship, right? Their first Navy destroyer, and they launched it and in a big fanfare, and it sank.
Wow.
Thought that was real fun, right? And it sank. Well, in case you haven't been paying attention, the Hermit Kingdom raised it from the floor because it was in the harbor, raised it up, fixed it, and floated it. Well, literally like a week ago, they test fired cruise missiles off of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Kim Jong-un standing on the cliffs watching his ship shoot missiles and tool around the harbor and fire its guns and all that stuff. It is in sea trials right now. They have a navy. they have a ship that they have built. Now, hear me when I say this. Yes, it's nuclear powered. Yes, they're a nuclear country. Yes, they now have developed cruise missiles for. But hear me when I say this. It took about 10 minutes for the United States Navy and Air Force to sink 158 ships that belong to Iran.
Yes.
The same type of ships. Took about 10 minutes. So don't get overly alarmed that North Korea, but where I'm going with this is China's helping North Korea. We all know this. There's no way that they are going to be able to get this done now. You have to think the North Koreans, they rely on China, and China relies on the North Koreans coming into their country working. I mean, that's a back and forth thing. So we know that China's helping the little Hermit Kingdom, do what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
We already know this. So our biggest adversary, China, do you hear anything out of them right now? No. Why? Because Trump is literally rewriting the world order. And in part, he said yesterday from the Oval Office, he's like, the Iranians, they keep making a deal and then they break the deal. He said they broke it like 10 times. 10 times they broke the deal. He said they've been breaking the deal for 47 years. And he goes on to say, I'm just done with that. And he is. He's just done with it. And I agree. And between Russia and Ukraine and the issues that are going on there, the best thing that we can really do at this point is end this Iranian problem that we have. Now, I know this is going to sound hard, but I want to say this, Kim, with all sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a nation build either. I feel terrible for the Persian people who have to live under that theocratic Muslim Sharia Mickey Mouse BS.
Yeah.
Okay. And as a red-blooded Southern American, you can take your theocratic Muslim Sharia BS, bend over and shove it smooth up your a-hole, because I don't want to see it anywhere near me. And I think in this country, we need to get on the business of passing legislation. And I think all the way up to a constitutional amendment. We need to have a constitutional amendment that bans any type of Sharia or Muslim anything. It should be banned in this country. You should not be able to hold office if you were not, if you're not a American citizen that was born here. You shouldn't be able to hold elective office, and you should have to sign a religious pledge that you are Christian before you can hold office here. Straight up, period. If you're Wiccan, pagan, whatever that is, you don't qualify. You better have like Facebook post of where you've been posting, about John 3:16 and everything else to prove that you're. Now, why do I say that? It's because if you go back to the founding fathers and you go back to the founding of this country in the state constitutions, you had to sign a religious pledge. Did you remember this from school? You had to be Christian in order to hold office. It was a requirement. You remember that, Kim?
I don't.
You don't, do you? But it was a requirement. You can go back and look it up for yourself. Don't believe me. It was a requirement. You had to sign a religious pledge back then. I don't see any difference now. Personally, I don't. If you want to fix these problems and these issues, our Constitution is based on Christian principles. Period. Full stop. And the reason why you feel like you're in a constitutional crisis is because you've got all these Muslim and jihadists and pagans and Wiccans and everybody else on the planet that can't live under a Christian principle. And it's why you have these issues. It's why you have what you have going on in the House and the Senate and all that right now. You just do. Now, you can have Chuck Schumer, who claims to be Jewish. He is, but who claims to follow that. But he's not. But here's something else. Judaism is not Christianity. This country was founded on Christian principles. Now, can you be Jewish and live in this country? Absolutely. It's the closest thing to Christianity next to Christianity.
Yeah.
Is Judaism. It just is.
Okay.
Orthodox Jews, etc. They are not preaching ill will, hate, and discontent. They're not out beheading anybody saying you have to convert to Orthodox Judaism or you're going to hell. They don't do that. They can coexist with Christianity. That's proven. But second of all, Islamic jihad and Sharia law will not. And as far as I'm concerned, and Lord strike me down if I'm wrong, we need to send them all to get their 72 virgins and let them see what it really means when you pass away. It's time to resurrect the Crusades because they've never stopped. And I'm going to tell you who they are. They're the Muslims. They haven't ever stopped since Muhammad got the false teachings in the cave in 900 AD. They've never stopped. Their intention is to rule this world, and you see what happens when they do. You end up with this crap like we have in Iran. We have more Muslims today running for office. We have to stop all this. This has got to end. This has got to end here right now. We can't have the Democrat Socialist Party. That's not socialism. That's communism. They've just gone full-blown communist. I have a clip I can play about. It talks about that. Anyway, what am I just droning on, Kim? But where I'm going with this whole thing is real simple. And I'm going to sum up my Iran talk, and we're going to move on to some other stuff. It's real simple. Iran is a problem. America is a beacon of light. It's a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. Donald Trump just left the NATO summit over there where he basically told Spain and a few others, you either get your act together or I'm done with you. I will pull the troops out of here, and I'm all for that. Get your act together or we're done with you. Now, I love Europeans, and I love the fact that we came from there, and I love studying history and all that, but let me tell you something. It's America first with me. and I want to get rid of all these invaders that came into our country, I'd like to see Joe Biden strung up by the neck until dead for treason. I would vote for that.
Along with a few others.
Along with a few others. Obama, too, because he's nothing but a gay Muslim, in my opinion. Now, I can have that opinion. And Trump almost went out and said it the other day. And we're going to get to that in just a second, too. But I'm just going to say this. I'm tired of playing with these mullahs in Iran. I'm sick and tired of doing it. If Frank were dictator, if Frank were president today, I would call in all the Joint Chiefs of Staff, all the military guys. I'd have a big meeting. We'd talk about it. And then I would film a short little 2-minute video that would be played to all the military personnel in the world. All military personnel would be required to listen to it. It would be this. I'm the president, and I'm sick and tired of the theocratic society in Iran dictating everything we're doing. We're going to stop this. And I'm going to send you in harm's way. I'm going to put you in Iran, and we're going to end this. And some of you are going to die. But this is what I'm going to do, and we're going to end this. And this is why we're going to end this. I am sick and tired of them dictating. And when we get done with them, we're going to throw out all of these people in our country that believe like they do. All these Islamist, jihadist, radical Muslim people, they're out too. We're going to declare them terrorists, and we're going to remove them from this country. ICE is going to go pick them up, and we're exporting you out. You're not going to stay here. And I would do both at the same time. But I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to bomb the crap out of them, and then I'm going to send in the Marines, and I'm going to send in the 101st Airborne. And we're going to go in there. We're going to liberate that country. And I'm going to plant an American flag in the middle of it, and I'm going to call it the 51st state. Now, people may not like that. They may argue against that, but Trump said yesterday, we're going to take over the Strait of Hormuz, and we're going to charge a toll to use it. Great, because I need to get my money back for all the weaponry and expense that I had to go through to open up that strait so that the world's trade and the world's economy can move forward. That's only fair. If I go over there and I have American soldiers, men and women die to remove those theocrats, those idiots that have been sitting over there for 47 years, I'm not leaving. When I take that ground, as George Patton said in World War II, I don't like paying for the same ground twice. So when I send the Americans in there, I'm not leaving. I'm claiming the territory. It's mine. You're a province now. We're going to run this. I'm going to park my military right over here. And I run this. And we'll build the Persians up, and they can start having just like Puerto Rico or something. They can be like that, but this is mine. And I run this now. That's maybe one day I'll give it back, but I probably won't. If American blood pays for it to get rid of that theocratic, I'm not even going to allow it to even have an opportunity to rear its head again. I'm gonna leave my military over there. Yeah, I'm gonna make the Persian Gulf the American Gulf. It'll be the Gulf of America 2. It can be the Strait of America. Not the Strait of Hormuz. It'll be the Strait of America. And Oman and Saudi Arabia and the rest of them can just have a Coke and a smile and be glad that I got rid of the Iranian problem. Now, you may disagree with me, and you may say, Frank, I don't want a whole bunch of American lives dying over there. I don't either. But enough is enough. And after 47 years, there's going to be people over there that are going to have to go fight that war. They're going to go into Iran and have to fight that weren't even born when the mullahs took over in 79. I remember it. I was alive. I witnessed it. I watched it on TV. I remember it like it was yesterday. Watched them run over the U.S. embassy and take all the people hostage and you know the college students in the streets waving death to America and chanting and all that stuff. I remember it. I was alive then. Some of the people are going to fight this war. They don't. They grew up this way. They've never known it any different. I know it different. So I'm just telling you, if I were in charge of the military, we'd be over there We be taking it out. I'm done talking. I'm done talking. And I'm going to Benjamin Netanyahu, he and I are going to get in a room together, and he going to tell his troops the same thing. We're done talking. I'm going to let the IDF, and I'm going to tell you, you talking about some bad hombres. I'm going to let the Israeli Defense Force, they can go first, and they will happily go first. They will invade that country, and they will go in there and hunt down every last one of those theocratical mullahs over there and kill them. Graveyard dead. All you got to do is just unleash Netanyahu and tell him, go get it. Go deal with it. I'm going to do that. And you're going to have all kind of support from the military, from the United States, the Marines, Airborne, Army, Special Forces, Navy SEALs. We're going to be in that country killing everybody. Everybody. If you have an IRGC patch on, you might as well consider yourself dead. Or you can lay your arms down and you can leave. That'll be your choice. But that's what Frank would do. And I would end this mess, and I would end it quickly. Because it took us about 10 minutes to sink their Navy. I would think in 6 months. Because let me tell you something. When you put overwhelming boots on the ground, and I'm talking about overwhelming force. I'm not talking about some Mickey Mouse stuff. When you put the IDF in there, you have to think. The Mossad has been working in Iran for years. They know where these leaders are. They know how to find them. They know where they are. The Persian people are telling on them. They know where they are. All you have to have is some strategic drop-ins of special forces and take these people out. You don't have to have some World War II full invasion like Normandy. You ain't got to storm the beach. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about putting in 5 million soldiers in Iran. That's not what I'm talking about. So hear what I'm saying to you. I'm putting boots on the ground. I'm coming to get you. I'm killing you where you stand, and I'm leaving. And I'm taking the country over. It's going to be mine. Just like we did in Iraq when we pulled down Saddam Hussein stuff. But this time I'm not leaving like we did in Iraq. We should have stayed. We paid for it. My 2 cents. What?
Nothing.
Look at there. I just rambling on. But I'm not rambling.
No,
on.
you're not rambling. I agree.
Just a taste of what's coming up on the way back. When we come back.
You have some local
I do.
things to share that.
Trump is declared a conversation on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. He's going to be talking to everybody. He's going to be declassifying foreign interference in American elections. What?
Never mind. Don't have enough time. That's fine. Go ahead. We'll be right back, guys.
I'm just keeping my mouth.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
I'm Officer Kyle Carmerdale.
And I'm Officer Alfred Jenkins, School Resource Officer with the Pearl Police Department. And our job is to protect students.
Here in Pearl, we have zero tolerance for drivers that break school bus laws. There are 4 things to know. Stop at least 10 feet from the bus when it is loading or unloading. Don't move until kids have crossed the street to or from the bus. The flashing red lights are no longer activated. The stop sign on the side of the bus is retracted.
When we catch you, you get a ticket up to $750, up to a year in jail, or both.
Please pay attention so every student can get to school and home safely.
Welcome back into the
Frank.
And Kim.
Really big, gigantic, humongous, glamtastic, tigerific. Show.
Yeah, where Frank talks too much.
No.
Apparently, I do.
No.
I leave you the floor. I talk too much.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You
I
insinuated
did
that
not
I talk
say that.
that I talk way too much.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. No, I was going to tease the audience about something locally
Yeah.
that has to do with what you were just talking about
Okay.
that definitely upset you.
Yes, it did.
Okay, there's the lead in. There you go.
It definitely upset me. There is no doubt.
There's your lead in.
So I'm wandering through Sam's yesterday to go get some groceries because I needed dog food and a few things. I don't normally buy a boatload of stuff from Sam's anymore because back when the kids were home and we had a bunch of mouths to feed, it made a lot of sense, to buy in bulk. But don't really have a lot of mouths to feed anymore other than the dogs. And so I buy dog food in bulk from Sam's. That's pretty much it. But having me wandering through the Sam's yesterday, and I wandered back around the meat section just to see how overly priced that stuff is. Because Sam's used to be really good for meat prices, and it's still some really good meat. But matter of fact, you can find some really good meat there, some really good cuts and that sort of thing there. You can. It's something that they have. But I'm wandering through the meat department yesterday, and lo and behold, what did I find, Kim?
You found an interesting sign.
Right. So for those of you who can see this, here's the picture right there. Oops. There it is. That's the meat department at Sam's. Okay. You see there's a sign right there. There's a sign right there in the meat department at Sam's. That's where I'm at. And that sign right here. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah, you may have to read it though.
I am. I'm going to read it. It is the ISWA Halal Certification Department Islamic Certificate. And it is the ISWA Certification Department hereby certifies that the products specified below, manufactured and distributed by the below listed company, are under our supervision. Lakeside Refrigerated Services from Swedesboro, New Jersey. They do not contain any harm or unlawful items in their ingredients. Therefore, they are all considered suitable for consumption by Muslims and have complied with the halal requirements according to Islamic law, Sharia law. The raw meat used in production comes from animals that have been blessed. The Tasmiyah and Kabir, or whatever that mess is, by a Muslim. Please forward any questions you have to these people here. This certificate is only to show that the plant has been approved and is able to produce the following items. It should not be used to prove the validity of any productions. So, what did I just read to you, Kim?
That basically, okay, well, number one, for some reason, Sam's is worried enough about Muslims not buying their meat because I guess it hadn't been blessed over or whatever, and complying to that. My thing is, Muslims who are here, and especially, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, think about the demographics of Muslims in Sam's, if I'm going to take a wild guess, are ones that probably own businesses that, like convenience stores and even grocery stores and things like that. So they're complying more to the Muslim community and letting them know that, hey, don't worry about our meat. Our meat's been blessed over, so you can trust this meat. Hey, I'm going to put this whole certificate out here of the plant that we get this meat from. Don't worry about it. It's been blessed over. You want to know what that does to me as a Christian that lives in America? Makes me not want to buy the meat. Because if they had, I mean, I'll be honest with you, you know, they take their religion seriously. I take my religion seriously.
I think that's part of the problem.
And
Tim Surratt says, amen, Kim.
Yeah. So I take my religion seriously, and you're going to bless it in a Muslim Sharia Islamic way. I'm going to feel that meat is tainted and contaminated with blessings from something other than my God. So therefore, I don't think I want to partake in the meat that's been blessed over. So you're pushing away. The more they're doing this to try to welcome in Muslims to buy it, they're pushing away people like me.
All right, so I want to explain this. The Tazmira and Takbir are the specific Islamic blessing prayers recited during the slaughter of animals to make the meat halal. Breakdown. Explain it. Tazmiyah means in the name of Allah. The slaughterer must say this right. The slaughterer must say this right before cutting the animal's throat. It dedicates the act to Allah and its core requirement for halal meat. Takbir, or Allah Akbar, this means God is the greatest, or Allah is the greatest. It is often said alongside or as part of the slaughter process, emphasizing God's supremacy. Now, I have no problem with saying God is the greatest. This is them going, Allah is the greatest. According to Islamic rules, the ritual slaughter, the animal must be healthy. A sane adult Muslim performs the slaughter. A Muslim performs the slaughter. A sharp knife is used to swiftly cut the throat. All the blood must be drained. The slaughterer invokes Bismillah Allahu Akbar. All blood must be drained from the carcass. Now, when I hear Allahu Akbar, what do you think of? I can tell you. I ain't going to let you leave you in suspense. That's what they say when they put all the Christians on the beach and behead them all.
Yep.
That's the same thing.
Yep.
Now, what that tells me is that Sam's has now succumbed to the idea that they need to have Muslim meat prayed for and put in Sam's for us to consume. So what I'm thinking is, and Tim, I agree with you, what I'm thinking is we need to have an intervention. What do I mean by that? We need to have an intervention. We all need to get a bunch of group of folks together, and we need to go into the Sam's, and we need to stream it live on Facebook, and we need to be standing in there, and we need to pray over all that meat and put our own Christianity right on top of it. And we need to set our own sign next to there after we get finished. And we need to say that Christians have come in here and prayed over all this devil worship meat, because that Islamist jihadist mess, that's Sharia law. And this is not a Sharia law country. And I'll be damned if Sam's is going to start selling me law that has been consecrated to a Sharia God. That's not going to happen. I don't know what planet these people woke up on. This is the United States of America.
Right.
And I think, in all honesty, we need to start going into these places of business, and we need to start holding revivals and whatever else needs to be done. And we need to start praying over all this food in here and wiping away all of this mess. And we can put a big old fat sign right up on top of it that we just did all of that. And if Sam says we can't do that, well, you got to take that piece of crap sign out if I can't put mine in.
Amen.
This is America, last time I checked.
Yes.
And I'm highly offended. And I expect a lot of people to be highly offended as well.
Yes.
Don't believe me. Get in your car, drive over to Sam's. They're open right now. If you're a business member, you can walk in the door. If you're not, if you're just a standard member like I am, you can go at 10 o'clock. But drive your happy tail over there, walk back there to the meat section, and you'll see the sign for yourself. And then get busy doing what you're supposed to do. Don't sit back on the sidelines like just everybody else. Because if you sit there and on the sidelines, you're surrendering your freedom. Get in the fight. What the heck?
Yeah, 100% agree.
What the heck? Where did all this start? Well, 47 years ago with the Iranians. But I want to read something else to you. Mike Gallagher, who's the 8th most recognized talk show host personality in the United States, heard by over 2.25 million listeners weekly. This is what he wrote in an essay not too long ago. Obama, it was you. And I'm going to read this off, so everybody pay close attention. It is long. But I am going to read it. Obama, it was you who spoke these words at an Islamic dinner. I am one of you, and y'all should remember that. It was you on ABC News who referenced my Muslim faith. He said it. I saw him do it. It was you who gave $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funds to rebuild foreign mosques. Yep, you did that. It was you who wrote that in the event of a conflict, I will stand with the Muslims. Yep, you wrote that. It was you who assured the Egyptian foreign minister that I am Muslim. And you did that too. It was you who bowed in submission before the Saudi king. Yep, watch that on TV. It was you who sat for 20 years in a liberation theology church condemning America and professing Marxism. Yep, Rush used to play that all the time. Yep, that was you. It was you who exempted Muslims from penalties under Obamacare that the rest of us have to pay. Yep, that was you. It was you who purposely omitted endowed by our Creator from your recitation of the Declaration of Independence. Yep, that was you. Watch that over and over. It was you who mocked the Bible and Jesus Christ's Sermon on the Mount while repeatedly referring to the Holy Quran. Yep, that was you. It was you who traveled to the Islamic world denigrating the United States of America. Remember that tour? Yep, it was you. It was you who instantly threw the support of your administration behind the building of the Ground Zero Victory Mosque overlooking the hallowed crater of the World Trade Center. Now, if that don't make you mad enough to want to just go shoot somebody, it was him. It was you who refused to attend the National Prayer Breakfast, but hastened to host an Islamic prayer breakfast at the White House. Remember that? It was him. It was you who ordered Georgetown University and Notre Dame to shroud all vestiges of Jesus before you would agree to go there to speak. But in contrast, you have never requested the mosque you have visited to adjust their decor. Yep, that was you. It was you who appointed anti-Christian fanatics to your SAR Corps. Yep. It was you who appointed rabid Islamists to Homeland Security. Yep. It was you who said that NASA's foremost mission was an outreach to Muslim communities. That was the biggest laughing stock thing I think I've ever heard him say.
Right.
But it was him. He said it. It was you who, as an Illinois senator, was the only individual who would speak in favor of infanticide. It was you who was the first president not to give a Christmas greeting from the White House and went so far as to hang photos of Chairman Mao on the White House street. Remember that? That was in the news.
Yeah.
They wouldn't report it. But yeah, it was him.
Yeah, I remember.
It was you who curtailed the military tribunals of all Islamic terrorists. Yep, it was you. It was you who refused to condemn the Fort Hood killer as an Islamic terrorist. Yep, I remember that. Remember that?
Yep.
He didn't. It was you who refused to speak out concerning the horrific executions of women throughout the Muslim culture, but yet have submitted Arizona to the UN for investigation of hypothetical human rights abuses. I remember that. Remember that? We all had a fit and a come apart when he did that. It was you who were queried in India, refused to acknowledge the true extent of radical global jihadists, and instead profusely praised Islam in a country that is 82% Hindu and the victim of numerous Islamic terrorist assaults. Yeah, I remember that. It was you who funneled $900 million in U.S. taxpayer dollars to Hamas. It was you who ordered the United States Postal Service to honor the Muslim holiday with a new commemorative stamp. I remember that. We need to burn that stamp, by the way. It was you who directed our UK embassy to conduct outreach to help empower the British Muslim community. Remember that? The British should be upset with Obama.
Yeah, see how that's worked out.
Yeah. It was you who funded mandatory Arabic language and culture studies in grammar schools across the country. It was you who follows the Muslim custom of not wearing any form of jewelry during Ramadan. It was you. It is you who departs for Hawaii over the Christmas season so as to avoid past criticism for not participating in seasonal White House religious events. It was you who was uncharacteristically quick to join the chorus of the Muslim Brotherhood to depose Egypt's Hosni Mubarak, formerly America's strongest ally in North Africa, but remained muted in your non-response to the Brotherhood-led slaughter of Egyptian Christians. It was you who appointed your chief advisor, Valerie Jarrett, an Iranian, who is a member of the Muslim Sisterhood, an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. It was you the whole time who ushered in this mess that we are in. It was you.
100%.
It was Obama.
Yeah.
That traitor, that Muslim, everything I just read to you is fact. 100% fact. There is a sign sitting on a shelf in the meat department of our Sam's in Pearl, Mississippi, that says they have prayed over that meat and sacrificed the animal to Allah. If you're good with that, I don't ever want to hear you complain about another thing. Ever. I'm not good with that. Obama started this mess. We've allowed this mess to happen. He is a Muslim. Sure as I'm standing here. And on Thursday night, Donald Trump is going to release a whole boatload of information about foreign election interference and the Georgia election and how these people, the CIA, is going to be how these people have infiltrated our country. And Obama, it was you. You flew pallets of cash to Iran on pallets and dropped it off. Billions of dollars.
He happily did
And
that
we
too.
wonder why we have this issue today. It was you. It was you. It was you. We can't find a tree quick enough. If I could get you convicted of treason, I promise you I'd pull the lever myself and not lose an ounce of sleep. I would be happy. I will sign up to be that executioner. Get convicted of treason. Frank will do it. What do you need? Hanging, bullet to the head, whatever. I'll be glad to do it.
Okay.
Because it was him.
Yes.
Wake up, people. Go to Sam's and see it for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with this. It's time to ban Islam, Sharia law. All that's got to go.
We do need to go and pray over that.
All of that's got to go. All of that's got to go. If you are a Muslim in this country and you believe in that stuff, you have to go starting now. Out. Get out. You are not welcome here. I'm not a friend of yours. We are never going to see eye to eye. It's not going to happen. So get out. Get out of my country. I was here first.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back next week, same time, same place.
See you.
See ya.